We're talking about a very important topic, actually a topic in which the entire Happy Hustle was built around, and that is burnout. And specifically the 15 signs of burnout and how to actually recognize it before it's too late. Now, we're going to be diving into this episode of the Happy Hustle podcast.
Do you want blissful balance in your personal and professional life? Great. What's up, guys? My name is Cary Jack, and I want to help you happy hustle a life you love, one full of passion, purpose, and positive impact. I'm a lifestyle entrepreneur, a professional model / actor, a digital marketing specialist, a podcast host, author, a biohacker, an eco-warrior, a martial artist, a hippie cowboy, and a humanitarian. My goal is to educate, inspire, and entertain you to live a life of passion, purpose, and positive impact. It is time to happy hustle your dream reality.
What's up, y'all? My name is Cary Jack, and I'm a lifestyle entrepreneur, best-selling author of The Happy Hustle. Yes, we just reached number 39 on the USA Today bestseller list with our new book, The Happy Hustle, which is all about 10 alignments to avoid burnout and achieve blissful balance. And we are a top globally ranked podcast, the Happy Hustle podcast. And I want to share with you the 15 signs of burnout and how you can actually avoid it and potentially make a massive shift. If you have any of these signs right now, you're going to want to listen in real deep because we're going to cover how to actually fix it at the end. So let me just address first and foremost the definition of burnout. And burnout is a state of mental, physical, and emotional exhaustion caused by prolonged stress. So this is something very near and dear to my heart. We built the entire Happy Hustle around solving this problem of imbalance and ultimately burning out. After I burnt out as a tech entrepreneur in New York City, grinding like a damn dog, working 100+ hour weeks, getting roughly 5 hours of sleep a night, sacrificing my faith, my family, my fitness, my fun, all for profit, success, ego, status, all this stuff that I thought society deemed important and often does, yet it wasn't fulfilling. And so after reaching this mountain top, for lack of a better term, and obviously we still had a long ways to go with my company, but it was a great plateau of quote unquote success in the making, but I burnt out. I was so mentally, physically, and emotionally exhausted. So I don't want that for you. I want you to avoid burnout and achieve this blissful balance. All right, so let's just dive right in. We're going to get into these 15 signs. And I want to first start with the number one sign, which is chronic fatigue and exhaustion. If you're constantly tired and it doesn't improve with sleep, chances are you're on the brink of burnout. And, this was what happened to me. I was constantly pushing through my tiredness, getting up for meetings, staying late for networking events, just the grind. And right now it gets glorified, this entrepreneurial grind where we celebrate working on weekends and sacrificing your family and all this stuff. And I think there's a better way to do it. It might have a prolonged timeline till you achieve the desired outcome, but it won't come at the cost of your health or any of these other key important areas of life that make life worth living. So that's number one sign. Number two sign, lack of enthusiasm for work. So if you're feeling disinterested or apathetic about the projects that once excited you, well, maybe you might be on the brink of burnout. So reflect on, why you started and then reconnect with your purpose. If that's happening, your passion should drive you and not drain you. So that's the number two sign if you do. Number 3 sign of burnout, which is reduced productivity and focus. So if you're struggling to focus or get less done rather than your usual output, well, you could be on the brink of burnout. Specifically, you can use productivity journals or monitor patterns or time tracking tools if you track like your week in 15-minute blocks, and you could just see how productive you're actually being. This is how you can avoid some burnout cycles. All right, number 4 sign, increased cynicism or detachment. So if you feel disconnected from your work or your colleagues or your clients, this could be a sign. Cynicism affects us all in some capacity, and you want to keep track of your negativity. Are you a glass half full or half empty type of person? Which one are you leaning or skewing more towards? Okay, number 5 sign, physical symptoms like headaches and muscle pain. So if you're like physically showing up in the form, like physical stress showing up in the form of headaches, neck aches, back pains, muscle tension, stuff like that, first of all, I will say I got my buddy's company here. Shout out to him, Imbue. This is some lotion. Look, I'll even squirt some on here right now. But yeah, this stuff is good. It's good for like if you do have muscle soreness. Now, my neck pain is more so from just being an active athlete most of my life and heading a lot of soccer balls and doing martial arts and whatnot. But if you're getting it just from working or constantly being at your desk, that could be a sign that obviously, you're working too much and you might be on the brink of burnout. So you got to listen to your body's signs and you need to just recognize it and like give it the break it needs. So, health is wealth, as they say. Don't ignore those aches and pains. Okay. All right. Number 6 sign. Trouble sleeping. So if you're experiencing insomnia, restless sleep, or waking up feeling unrefreshed, well, you might be on the brink of burnout. Okay. So you need to establish like a calming bedtime routine, reduce the screen time. One of the things my wife and I have been doing, we were doing this in the past, but now we got back to doing it because we obviously fell off the discipline train. And we took our phones out of our rooms. We already don't have a TV in our bedroom, but we don't now have our phones in our bedrooms. Yeah, just like constantly, being on our devices is stressful and it can cause a interrupt in your sleep pattern. So yeah, well-rested mind is often a happy mind. So make sleep a priority. Getting that recommended, 7 to 8 hours a night is ideal. Obviously, I have a 1-year-old. It's hard to get in 8 full hours consistently because he'll pop up in the middle of the night, crying. I'll have to go in there and soothe him. So I get it, but yeah, make sleep a priority. Okay. Number 7 sign, emotional outbursts or mood swings. This is huge, actually. Frequent irritability, mood swings, or feeling unusually emotional. This can be a sign of burnout and actually getting triggered super easily. I have been known in the past, like way when I was a teen, to be a hothead. Like I would lose my cool. Actually, I had to go to years of anger management, if you can believe it. I know the happy hustler going to anger management classes. But fast forward now, I have a process to really like calm myself down and handle stress in a more efficient and effective manner. If you're feeling these emotional outbursts or mood swings and you really can't pinpoint why, well, maybe it's because you're on the brink of burnout. So number 8, memory issues and forgetfulness. Yeah, interesting, right? So struggling to remember details or keep track of tasks. This can look very different for many different people. But yeah, this could be a sign. Now, I'll just say for me, I actually experienced carbon monoxide poisoning in 2022. I almost died. So I have some holes in my brain from this poison, this carbon monoxide gas that infiltrated. I passed out unconscious, cracked my head open. It's a crazy story. We actually did a podcast on it if you want to go look it up. But the point is, I have struggled with memory and forgetfulness because of that. But if you're struggling maybe and it's uncharacteristic of you, well, maybe it's a sign of burnout. So also, using reminders, to-do lists, delegating when you're feeling overload. One of the things that helps me is I have a to dominate list and I pass it along to my assistant and she reminds me every day. And then I'll keep track of my most valuable tasks every day. Forgetfulness though can be your brain's way of signaling overload. So just beware. All right. Number 9, withdrawal from social interactions. If you're feeling isolated or wanting to avoid people or neglecting social events, well, it could be a little bit sign of burnout. So a tip here is just to schedule some time with friends to keep up with personal connections. If you're feeling isolated, like you don't want to really interface, like it's too much right now, that could be a sign that you're working so much that your actual nervous system can't handle more interaction. So again, telltale sign that you could be on the brink of burnout. All right, number 10, changes in appetite or weight. I know. This is all related, folks. Stress leading to eating more or less than usual. So if you're eating more or less than usual or resulting in noticeable weight change, this is potentially a sign of brink of burnout. So you want to really focus on nourishing yourself with meals that give you energy and don't like use food as an emotional tool to soothe yourself, like this emotional eating. Use it as nourishment. Remember, obviously, food is thy medicine. So, the right foods in your mind and your body will keep them sharp and keep you able to hustle hard. All right, number 11, we're cruising and making our way here, folks. Increased use of alcohol, caffeine, or stimulants. So here's where we're really getting into some of the dangerous ones. And I mentioned like the last 5 are pretty dangerous. So if you're really relying on substances to boost your energy or relax, this could be a sign of burnout. So I'm going to just shout out one of our sponsors of the podcast. This is well, you can't really tell from this, but it is Newtopia. These are nootropics, very effective ones. Magic Mind. I don't know if you ever heard of Magic Mind. Reclaim Your Brain. It's a mental performance elixir. I like using tools like this, nootropics, but I don't have to. I just use them when I have focused blocks that I really want to get her done. Also, I like to use some things like Magnesium Breakthrough at night from Bioptimizers, but again, I don't have to have them. They're a tool I use. But if you are feeling like you have to increase your alcohol, caffeine, or use of stimulants just to get by, well, that could be a telltale sign of a burnout. So, all right, number 12, feeling of inadequacy or self-doubt. So if you're feeling like overwhelmed or like you're never good enough, or you have this like compare and despair mindset where you're constantly comparing yourself to others. Yeah, sometimes even if you're like victimizing yourself, this can be a sign of burnout. And we all feel self-doubt. Don't get me wrong here. Like we all feel a little bit of self-doubt, no question. It's part of the human condition, I would have to say. However, you need to celebrate the wins. You need to really focus on putting joy in the journey and, counter that burnout driven self-doubt with achieving incremental goals, right? Being very focused. Another key here too is don't like constantly compare yourself to others on social media. Social media is the best of everybody. It's oftentimes a facade. So, I know for me, I put most of the good stuff, not as much of the bad stuff. I know there's some people who like will hang their hat on them crying on camera and putting out the deepest, darkest secrets. My whole rule with social media and just life in general is I share scars, not wounds. So I wait for the scars to form, and then I can share from an experience of, hey, this was the adversity and then I overcame it. So yeah, that's just little take there. Okay, number 13, numbing out with entertainment. Yeah. If you are spending hours on social media or mindless TV or scrolling, caught in that death scroll as a distraction, you could be on the brink of burnout. So you got to limit that screen time and incorporate mindful breaks instead. Just don't let that entertainment replace real rest or real enjoyment with people that you care about. I would definitely recommend also pausing the entertainment and getting outside more as a great combative. All right, number 14, resentment towards clients or work. I know this is a dangerous one. Like angry about your job or your clients, sometimes even your colleague or your teams. Again, this could be a sign of burnout. So you really need to think about that. Is it really them? Or is it more you in your current state that's getting triggered easily? Resentment is a sign to step back and recalibrate. Consider adjusting your workload or boundaries so that you feel excited to talk to your clients, excited to give from your overflow and give your best ultimately. All right, number 15, drum roll, please. Loss of motivation and purpose. So if you are losing touch with your why and you're feeling directionless, yeah, maybe you're on the brink of burnout. Like remember why you started, and remember that purpose will fuel your passion, and you need to have that like inward facing calling on your heartstring that really pulls you forward, and then that outward serving mission of who you're actually serving for. We talk about passion, purpose, and a positive impact. Like those three pieces of the puzzle need to be there in order to be a happy hustler. So think about that for you. If you're losing that motivation, that purpose, if you're not super stoked about your career or your job or your entrepreneurial venture, maybe a pivot is in order. So those are the 15 signs of maybe you're on the brink of burnout. And I'm going to do a recap here. So we'll go through those 15 signs. Number 1 was chronic fatigue and exhaustion. Number 2 was lack of enthusiasm for work. Number 3 was reduced productivity and focus. Number 4 was increased cynicism or detachment. Number 5, physical symptoms like headaches and muscle pain. Number 6, trouble sleeping. Number 7, emotional outbursts or mood swings. Number 8, memory issues and forgetfulness. Number 9, withdrawal from social interactions. Number 10, changes in appetite or weight. Number 11, increased use of alcohol, caffeine, or stimulants. Number 12, feeling of inadequacy or self-doubt. Number 13, numbing out, with entertainment. Number 14, resentment toward work or clients. And then number 15, loss of motivation and purpose. So I told you I was going to talk about some of the ways to counteract burnout. Here's just some pro tips. Okay. Number 1, take regular breaks. You got to give yourself that grace. Get outside, go for a damn walk, and take breaks. Okay. Number 2, prioritize sleep and exercise. You have to exercise and sleep. This has to be top of your list. Number 3, reconnect with your why. I recommend journaling and really getting clear on that. Number 4 is actually going through and doing the soul mapping assessment. So in the book, we go through and then you can see where you might be lacking, where you might be out of balance. And then number 5, again, shameless plug, is just pick up a copy of the book and then read it. And this will help you beat burnout and achieve that blissful balance. So I hope this was valuable for you. I really do take it serious when it comes to burnout. If you have any of these signs, I would say some could be, just a anomaly. So let's say 3 or more of these signs, you really need to be like, whoa, pause. I need to reflect and make some pivots, some changes in my life, because this burnout thing is no joke. Mental, physical, emotional exhaustion from prolonged stress. It will completely strip years of your life and ultimately extract a lot of joy and happiness from your everyday reality. There's better ways to put the happy in your house. So we talk about those on this podcast, on this channel. And I'm just so grateful for you for listening and tuning in. So please do me a solid, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know which sign, if any, resonated with you. And if I can support you in any way, reach out. We're here to help. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Now get out there, keep on happy hustling a life that you love, full of that passion, purpose, and positive impact, and avoid burnout at all costs, my friend. All right. Peace and love. I'm out.